Hey guys, it's Patrick with MT Knives coming to you today with a little recap from the Blade Show 2026. And I figured I'd show you guys what I got there. So I don't typically have a table at the Blade Show, mainly because I have outstanding orders. Too many outstanding orders to really dedicate the time to getting knives ready for the show and then setting up for the show and all that. It is a lot of work. You know, people, I don't think, really consider how much work it takes to go and do a show like the Blade Show or any event really, because there's always work leading up to it. There's the packing of the vehicle, the hauling of all the things, the setting up, the tearing down, and then trying to get your life back in order when you get back. So you have to really consider, like, how much money are you making by the time it's all said and done. And a lot of people just simply do it kind of like as advertising to help get their name out there. And there is a lot of value in that. However, it's just not something that I really have time for. But I do like to go to the Blade Show for many reasons. One, to see friends. Two, to talk with vendors. And most importantly, like, pick up handle material. You can buy a lot of stuff online, but there is just no better way, in my opinion, to get material than to go and physically look through the inventory that these companies have and handpick stuff for your knives. My buddy Kyle Daly had a table and wanted me to come and just kind of help him a little bit, relieve him when he needed to go step away from the table and things. I really didn't do a whole lot of that because he had another guy there helping him as well. And I told him, I was like, look, you know, if I wanted to work a table, I'd have my own table. So anyhow, the good thing about it is when you have a table, you get in before the show starts to set up and stuff. And so a lot of companies are able to go and get through even before the general public gets in. So there's value in that. But anyhow, we'll get into kind of some of the stuff that I picked up. I didn't pick up much. I have more material than I can use probably for the next couple of years. I have material that I've had for 10 plus years. So I was really trying not to spend a whole lot. However, I kind of am a sucker for stuff like Mammoth Tusk, and I picked up these nice scales there. With Mammoth Tusk, one of the things you look for, one of the things I look for is color. A lot of Mammoth Tusk is pretty bland, brown, yellow, and just is not real stunning in my opinion. However, if you can get pieces like these with a lot of blue coloring in them, I really like that. So I found, and to find some this size, a lot of the time, even this size, a lot of times your Mammoth Tusk is even smaller than this, probably about 75% this size. So being able to pick out pieces that are larger and exactly what you're looking for. That's the other thing. You know, I've ordered stuff online and you can look at all the measurements in the world, but there's no substitute being able to pick it up, look and see and make sure both scales are the same size. Because sometimes, you know, you might know the dimensions, length and width, but the thickness, one side might be a lot thicker, and by the time you thin it out, you end up losing material. So anyways, I picked up some nice Mammoth Tusk. Let's see what else I got. I got a swage block for forging from from Derek Melton. He 3D prints anvils. I already had an anvil and swage blocks. Got a bunch of business cards. Picked up, got some basswood. Oh, this is something that I think was neat. Dogwood Custom Knives. He's got these beads and some shock cord. And I'm going to do a video later on these and how you can attach a neck knife to a pack, to your belt, stuff like that. I'm a big proponent of neck carry. However, I know not everybody is, and there's so many different types of clips. In fact, I spoke with Utiliclip there at the Blade Show. There's Tek-Lok, Utiliclip, all these different accessories to attach a knife to your belt, to your pack, whatever. And it's kind of like a sharpening jig or a sharpening system. Any system has its limitations. This, I feel like, has less limitations and is lighter weight, more versatility. So I'm kind of excited to do a video about this. And the beads are great because of the way they were designed, but even just using some shock cord and tying knots, knowing how to tie knots, you could do a lot of the similar things with that. So, picked up some oil, cutting oil for machine stones. And I picked up from Kyle, I picked up, it's a adapter for a Sawzall to, instead of, for using the stones to finish, like do finishing work, polishing out scratches and stuff like that. I've never been one to do much hand sanding. Kyle does a lot of hand sanding, and then using machinist stones to get out scratches. So just playing around with the different ways other makers do things and figuring out what works best for me. I also picked up some more diamond stropping compound. I'm gonna give it a whirl. I really hesitated on buying this because I already have enough different compounds to use. I have stuff that I kind of like, and I think this stuff's gonna be good, but I almost didn't get it because I've got far too much sharpening stuff. So anyways, that's about it. That's like I said, I almost picked up some I thought about picking up some more flashlights. I have a ton of flashlights, but with the children and living on a farm, we chore a lot. We use headlamps all the time, and they get broken, they get lost, they get damaged. But I didn't buy any headlamps. I like the one I use a lot is a Streamlight. I think it's a Streamlight. Not Streamlight. What is it? There's one in here. This Nitecore. That's what it is. Nitecore NU25, NU something like that. I really love these as far as like they're lightweight. They're they hold a charge for a long time. They have different brightness settings, but they're like $30, $35 a piece, which isn't bad. But I have over a dozen of them, so you know, several $100s in headlamps. Some are broken, and I'd like to get some more, but I just I just didn't this time. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I had a great time at Blade Show. One of the big reasons I went was to visit with Alex from Outdoor 55, and I asked him if he'd be willing to sit down with me and talk about sharpening and do some sharpening. And so we got a little time to get away and sharpen knives and talk about sharpening. And I shot some footage of that, so I will be having a video come out on that too. So, you know, the real value in any of these kind of workshops or events is the people who you meet and the knowledge that you learn, the relationships that you form, and it's really hard to put a value on that. So even though it does take a lot of time, money to travel and go to these events, it's really worth it when you consider just the people that you meet, the things that you learn, and the connections that you make. So that's why I go to these events. Even though I'm not having a table and selling things, it is all about those relationships you form, the people you meet, and the things you learn. especially in your work, in your industry, seeing the new innovations and the new things that come. I was kind of disappointed because I didn't stop by this one booth that I did last year, and I missed out on a new product that they had brought this year. Last year they didn't really have anything that I was interested in, and the Blade Show is so big that even 3 days, even being there for 3 days and having all the time in the world, you can't really see everything. I saw a lot of the show, and I got to take my son Malachi. This was his first Blade Show. He's 17, and we had a good time together. It was great have him along and for him to get to experience that. At first, I think he was kind of bored, wasn't too excited about it, but then he really had a good time, and he picked up a knife, and it already broke on him, but he picked up a automatic knife, and it was neat, but it was crazy that it's like it's already broke. Yeah, I was like, well, you should save your money and get something nicer. But anyways, we all got to do that sometimes. I have some cheaper knives, and you kind of get what you pay for. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. This is Patrick with MT Knives. Subscribe to the channel if you like to see more of this content. Like I said, I have a video coming out about some of this stuff, and my video with Alex from Outdoor 55. Thank you for watching. This is Patrick with MT Knives. Have a great day.